Okay, I've got about 10 minutes. I'm in such a hurry. I've got so much to do, and I'm probably gonna even be late. And you're like, huh? Oh, how is this an intro to a video? Why are you putting on the makeup last minute? It actually ties into this video because I'm a genius. No, I'm joking. Why does it tie into the video? Because some of you will have interpreted this as work ethic, grind, do it anyway, no excuses. You will have painted this over with a positive light of, hey, she's not even getting paid yet. I mean, by the time you watch this, maybe I am, but by the time I'm creating this course, I'm not. She has 12 subscribers, and she's so committed to making this work and her love for art. And others will think, could you have put on the video and opened that thing without just watching? And now you're like, okay, great. Either way, this is our interpretations. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Because that's actually exactly what we're talking about in today's class, which is interpretation and how important it is with art. And is it fluid? Is it fixed? Should there be privacy? How much privacy does art thrive on? Let's talk about all of it. I think it is personal how much privacy you want to give your artworks. If you want to say first name, last name, this person, here's a picture, that's okay. Or that's the school I'm talking about. That is completely fine. And if you want to say nothing at all, that is completely fine. I don't think there's a particular formula. I do think people love to interpret things for themselves, but I don't think people have the power to take that away. I don't think if a singer would tell you exactly who the song is about, you would then think of that person instead of the person that that song reminds you of. I also think interpretation has very little to do with truth, but it is interesting. I love interpretation. I would love someone to annotate my poems and tell me what they think it's about, not because I particularly think they're gonna guess my mind. If they can, really cool, we should probably be friends. But because a mirror stays the same, but the people that are in front of it change. And it's a little bit like that with art. Now, granted, art is less empty than a mirror, but for the most part, it still leaves so much room for interpretation. And I personally love interpretation because there's the metaphor the art writer wants to tell you about. It's like having a kid. People say, oh my god, your kid's so intelligent. How did they achieve all these things so quickly? Or on the reverse, when someone tells you, how did you raise such a stupid kid? You'd be like, two things. Your relationship with the kid is the most important. Other people's interpretation, of course you care, but if you have a kid that you know does horrible at school, and then they tell you, oh my god, they're doing so great, you'd be like, that's not the truth. I know what I know, and vice versa. So first, your relationship with the art. Because there's the relationship you have with the art, and there's the relationship that other people have with the art. And it is, maybe a friend is a better example. Your relationship with a friend is not dependent on all of their relationships with other friends. And when it's a vastly different explanation, you're like, okay, well, you clearly are experiencing a different friend. I mean, it is the same physical body and it's the same soul, but it is not the same personality that I'm experiencing. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're a liar or you're really bad at interpreting personalities. It just means different things stick out to different people. And different people bring out different things in others. But that's why you need to establish the relationship between you and your art, specific art pieces and art overall that you're making, so that when then someone tells you something about your art, you can be like, okay, interesting. And I do think it is interesting, and I do love good interpretations. And if you want to annotate any of my poems, please let me know, tag me on TikTok. But I think it is so cool. But what I see a lot is people, you have to like your own art. And you're like, didn't you just say, just get started, you can make bad art? You can make bad art. You can produce and put it out into the world, into the universe. But do not publish art you can't stand behind. I don't publish every poem I've written. That would be horrible. The quota gets better. And Sharon had this wonderful example of that it's like a water hose, and when you have not put water through it for a long time, a lot of dirty water comes out and then a little bit of clean. And then when you let it run for long enough, you get just clean water. Sometimes some dirty water will like go through, but for the most part, you'll just have clean water after a while. That is like art. That is like skills that you develop. At the beginning, there's tons of bad poems, there's tons of bad writing, there's tons of bad paintings, and at some point you sharpen your skill. And the skill might just be getting in touch with your emotions, understanding where you're at, embracing silence, and so you know how to describe something because you've been there, being able to be more present, so on and so forth. The skill might not be literally raising pen to paper. It might be life skills, because if you can't describe life, it's probably because you don't even know how you're living life. I like that sentence. Yeah. And so you have to put up art you're proud of, demonstrate art you're proud of, so that when you then do hear an interpretation, you can be like, I like that. Or, interesting. I think it's so cool. Someone was saying, oh, what if someone interprets a poem you meant in one way and then they interpret it completely incorrectly? And I'm like, there's no wrong interpretation of art. There is accurate and inaccurate. Like if you're like trying to guess something very specific, of course, there's facts within the realm of logic on Earth sometimes, but there's no wrong interpretation. And that's fine. Now, you're like, okay, well, thank you very much, but what about people hating my art? Let them. There's two trains of thought I have with someone hating my work. First of all, oh my god, but you've read it. And the second is, if you have actual legitimate critiques, you're like, you use too many metaphors, I'd be like, I've erased 3 out of every paragraph you're reading. This is the best I can do. But I would take it to heart. I hopefully wouldn't take it too seriously, but I would consider it, because I think improving is great, and I think the way you do art is sometimes the way you do life, and so it's a good reflection of the way you interpret life. And then if someone has no actual valid critique, they just say it's horrible, it sucks, bleh. Exactly that comment, word for word, bleh. I'd be like, okay, well, that sucks. That does suck. And I wouldn't love it. I'm not someone who's like trying to hate into love. But I'm also not, what can I do? I cannot do anything. This is your opinion and it sucks, but if you bought the book, at least I get some money from it, I guess. I don't know. I've also, if it's specific enough, I think I'd take it more serious. It's like the 3rd poem in your book, completely hated, because I take it serious. But to the extent that you take emotion serious. If you're mad and someone tells you don't be mad, you know what it does, at least for me, it's like, now I want to fight. I mean, I don't actually, because I have no physical strength, but it makes me way more mad. And it's the same with art. It makes me want to make more art, because now I'm hurt and I do things when I'm hurt. Like, right? So that's a roundabout idea. It's okay to be hurt, the same way if someone said about your child, oh, they're horrible, nobody would be like, but why do you care if you know the truth? Because I care. Art class should be the "cause I care" class. That should be its actual name, because you do care, because it is emotions, because it is real, because it is honest, because we've established all those things before. So, yeah. So your homework for this class is to find a singer or an artist, some type of art that you love, and to find one person who hates them. You're like, huh? How's that working? Because in my mind, every time someone doesn't like something I do, which doesn't happen that much, because at least with books, for the most part, people don't tend to continue reading if they don't like it, is, in my mind, I think, well, there's people who don't think of an amazing artist, amazing singer, whatever. Like, why would everyone like me? Some people don't even like them. And that honestly does something. And it gives you a good frame of mind. If you enjoyed this, go check out my books and everything else down below. I have a podcast every Monday here and every Friday on Spotify. I post tons of TikToks. If I do Q&As, I'll probably do them on TikTok. I'll ask for questions and then answer them here. And anything else I do? TikTok, Spotify, the books, the guided journal. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed, and thank you for sticking around so long. If you want to share your homework, do it on TikTok, tag me, and I shall stitch it. Thank you, and you should round of applause again, because you should be so proud of yourself that you're either in uni, or you're working, or you're doing something else, and then you're also taking an art class every Saturday. My bad. You should be so proud. You should be so proud of yourself.